views and speeds.
Yo, that's Beezus on the beat. Shout out to Beezus. What up? It's your boy Drew. You're checking out that Drew World Order live. Catch me here live on the Chalkbodyoutline YouTube channel every Friday night, where I talk about politics, propaganda, psychology, and philosophy. Shout out to the chat. Before I go live, I'm usually huffing some eucalyptus. Calms me down, man, because tonight it's positive vibes only. High frequency eucalyptus organic oil, because you can only vibe high, man. That's it, according to these commenters on YouTube. That's what I've been reading the last week. Oh man, I'm sure you guys saw everything that the videos I dropped this week. Basically did what I do and did my thing and got the same reaction I usually get. So I have no problem like calling out people, or not even necessarily calling out, but like challenging ideas and having skepticism about different channels and ideas that are presented within this quote unquote community. And there you get a lot of pushback and a lot of crybabies when you do that. And that goes right with what EBT and I, go follow him on YouTube, Enslaved by Truth. We started a podcast called Outlining Our Enslavement. Well, it's been years now. And that was kind of the premise of the podcast, was that conspiracies were going to go mainstream and you would see the breakdown of them. And so this is something I've been talking about and following for a long time, is how the skepticism has completely left what you would call the truth community. You'd think these would be the most skeptical people, you would think, right? And apparently not, because if you have any kind of questions or pushback, even mild pushback to certain channels that they like, they get real mad. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to talk about tonight until I got a comment while I was kind of thinking about it. And I've already been thinking about this like for the whole week, pretty much, as how these people behave and act. And this comment I got said, it said, "What's your thing with this guy and others? This has turned into a hater channel rather than a channel that investigates the nature of reality, which it started as. Your message has turned into negativity." So to that, I would say, first of all, you say my channel started as something and I don't do that anymore. That means you have an expectation of me. And as I covered when I had Oracle Bridget on, shout out to Oracle Bridget, an expectation is an unwritten contract that I'm unaware of. So I didn't fulfill this contract that you have with me in your mind and you were disappointed or something like that. And to do this kind of creative stuff, it takes a lot of work and time, and it needs to be something that motivates me to do it. Like, it would be easy. It would be so easy. You guys don't even know how easy it would be to create a channel that just said what you wanted to say, whether you wanted to be in the 5D spiritual, like that lane, or the QAnon lane, or any of these little lanes that there is. It would be super easy to get in there and do that. But I'm always trying to kind of push the envelope. And even if you watch the videos I had like a year ago or whatever, it's like I'm still changing my beliefs and everything to this day. But anyway, what I said to this person back is I said, toxic positivity is a thing too. Skepticism should be a benchmark of a truther. I dove into the possible psychological factors at play behind this person, his theory, and the parasocial relationship with the commenters. So yeah, don't make it sound like I'm just straight bashing this person with nothing to back it up with. I caught him in a lie, proved it with a data point on the record. And like I said here, I look into these presenters, not just one guy, these multiple people I've presented, and I say I find and present major red flags about them. You should at least be aware of this when you're taking in their information. In my opinion, I know I'm always trying to like figure out who these people are, what's their motive, what's the psychology behind what they're trying to like give you and everything. How do you think they got to that? Formulated their hypotheses and stuff psychologically wise. That's what I look into, and to me that's more fascinating than look at this TJ Maxx, it's the double cross of Lorraine, and TJ Maxx is evil. And I don't really care about the signs and symbols and anything like that anymore because I've been into this for so long. Now I'm looking at like YouTube as a whole and who are these people, and more importantly, like I said, the parasocial relationship is very, it's very intriguing to me how that works. Not just on YouTube or Truthers, even on Twitch and everything. I think that's super interesting. Real quick, if you guys do see in the chat, I'm not sure if you all have it, but if there's a button that says accept gifts or something, click that. And saying Twitch reminded me now people can gift memberships. So I guess first you have to click that you want to accept a gift. So that way someone that's buying a membership to gift to someone else, it doesn't just go to someone that doesn't want it, I guess. So I don't know if that's available for everyone, but I did see it on my wife's phone before I started the stream. And if you do become a member, it's $2 a month and just helps support the channel. I can't really do anything extra because I'm constantly on 1 or 2 strikes. Like I'm always trying to push the envelope of what they let you do here and everything. But this is what I want to talk about tonight. Toxic positivity and the Disneyfication of the quote unquote truth community. Benton and I, shout out to Benton, man. I see him in the comments. He hasn't been around lately. Hopefully when he's ready to come back, he'll be ready to put down some info with us. What's up, Ike? And Ben and I talked about this last year, right before the end of the year, and I'm just going to play like a quick minute or so of Benton's take on this, because I know everyone misses Benton.
But see, now it's the positive vibes only, or the good vibes only, the lady with the good vibes only t-shirt. Meanwhile, that's the most miserable people, in my view. It's, if they're actually positive, I wouldn't think there'd be a need to put up a front about it.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
But real quick, I want to read the definition of toxic positivity. I'll keep this short. Toxic positivity is the phenomenon in which individuals do not fully acknowledge, process, or manage the entire spectrum of emotions, including anger and sadness. This genre of criticism against positive psychology argues that the field of positive psychology places too much importance on, quote, upbeat thinking, while shunting challenging and difficult experiences to the side. And I would argue that growth comes through the struggle and comes through confronting problems and difficult situations. So if I'm not willing to face the negativity or whatever, the negative form of the yin and the yang, then how am I ever going to grow and improve as a person, on whatever my path is in life? Because certainly I believe we're all here to do something, or, some combination of things. And it's different for different people. But if I'm unwilling to process the negative emotions, then I'm not going to be able to accept criticism. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is this very light. On your recent live stream, it was some light criticism, and people, they just can't process it. So that's why I identified it as toxic positivity.
Shout out to Benton. NightmareDystopia.com. The site's down now, but maybe he'll bring it back someday. If enough of you people rally, leave some comments for him, maybe he'll bring it back. And hopefully everything's going good with you, Benton. Shout out. Yeah, that's a great take, I think, is that these people can't process any kind of negative things. The other comments that I was getting in here was like, someone said, is this a judgment channel? So one of the things I see is they don't want you to make a judgment. And ultimately, in the end, obviously, only God will judge them. But you do have to use your brain and make judgments. Shout out to this channel right here called The Water Wheel. I'm going to leave this link in the chat if you guys... This channel was out here exposing some different people too. And she was saying, which I 100% agree with, is when these people say you're not supposed to judge, is you are supposed to judge. That's what your brain is for. After watching and that's what, if you say you're not supposed to judge, you're either being intellectually dishonest or you're just too gullible. And if you are that gullible, you're going to get groomed. Yeah, so shout out to the Water Wheel. If you don't judge, like, think about it, if you're walking downtown in your city and there's like a gang of like criminals following you or something, or people you get like bad energy off of, right? Like, you have to make a judgment right then and there and get yourself out of that situation. If you don't, you're going to end up a victim. You're meant to judge. I would say. Ultimately, you're not making the judgment on the level that God will when it's all said and done, but for your own self and to use your brain and to formulate opinions. These people, these presenters that I critique or criticize, whatever you want to call it, they made a judgment. They took in a bunch of information and processed it and laid it out and made a judgment from what they read to form their hypothesis. And all the people in the comments that say, oh, you're a good man and whatever, that you like that channel, you made a judgment that you liked it, but what you're really saying is you don't want anything negative. You're not saying, you're typing don't make a judgment, but what you really mean is don't be negative and don't make a negative judgment. Truth Hurts in the chat says, we are supposed to judge, just not judge hypocritically. Right. And Yellowhammer says, don't point out false stories if the overall message is good. That's kind of what they were doing. And yeah, Bass Ackwards, it's called discernment. Absolutely. That's where I was at with it. I couldn't believe the amount of, like, I knew there would be pushback, but especially on this one in particular, showing what I showed and everything, I still can't believe people were pushing back as hard as they did, because I didn't just say for no reason I don't like this. I said this person's caught in a lie 30 years ago. So why would you believe them about 5,000 years ago? And I also said psychologically, I believe this is the real reasoning behind this theory of this person. And in the past, in these other channels that I've criticized and stuff and shown the light on certain different things, it's been the same thing. It's never just like, oh, I'm just going to bash this guy because I want to. Other than Stavely. Stavely needs to go away. I can't stand Stavely. Did you guys see, man? Man, I saw Stavely, I swear, man, the other day. Hold on, man. I think Stavely was, I think Stavely, what do you call him? Catastrophe thespian? Is that what you got to call him on here? I'm pretty sure this is Stavely here, right? Like he's playing the role of this guy that's on stage here. Is this him?
Hello, Mr. Hickson.
Tell her. Yeah.
You can.
Swear. You can.
Noon.
Is that him?
Mr. Hickson, is your father, Mr. Christopher
To ask the
Hickson?
chat.
Yeah.
And is there something that you'd like to tell the jury about your dad?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's okay. I missed him.
Mandela! I don't know. Actor-based reality, that might be him. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. I did pull up one of these articles here. This is not too long ago. This is from early last year. EBT said we're going to hell for this. Sorry, bro. Says stay positive and be kind to the pandemic's most prominent platitudes and pastel-hued Instagram highlights. But here's why an obsession with positive thinking is damaging our collective mental health. The pandemic has given rise to a wave of toxic positivity. How could positivity, you might wonder, be considered a bad thing? It's the overgeneralization of being happy or optimistic in all situations, no matter how dire they might be. Psychotherapist Elizabeth B. Kraft said, toxic positivity is similar to a good vibes only mindset, where people believe that no matter how difficult or stressful a situation is, one should try to maintain a positive mindset, but it can often be insecure mindset that causes more harm than good. That's what I'm saying. You are in a dire situation. The world is enslaved. Things are going to hell in a handbasket quickly. People need to figure this out very quickly, and people are way behind the curve. Man, shout out to Pink Elephant. I saw Pink Elephant the other day. He said, even my viewers, he said, you guys are so far behind, you don't even know how far behind you are. And I kind of feel him on that, man. It's like there's so many people that are so far behind the curve, like they don't even see there's a curve coming up in the road. And then you spend your time out here and you try to help people and kind of help them catch up and stuff. And they just get stuck in these traps of these like lower, easily debunkable theories and stuff like that. And then they spend, a year or two there or whatever, when they should be able to blast right through it. RT's mad I was going at Stavely. It's a joke, dude. Stavely should be proud that he's the only person that just triggers me on probably the entire internet. I'm very thick-skinned. For some reason, whatever reason it is, he triggers me. And that he should be proud of that, to be the only one that can do that. It says, toxic positivity is the trend we see. People avoiding and suppressing the experience of so-called negative emotions like grief, anxiety, and depression in favor of surface-level positive emotions, says Kira Kernick or whatever. And there's slogans of the movement are things like, look on the bright side, be grateful what you have for. Be grateful for what you have. Our need to control and avoidance of uncertainty has played a role in this trend of toxic positivity, resulting in an influx of messages such as find the silver lining, just be positive, change your outlook and find gratitude. I can't read tonight. and so many more sentiments along those lines. Social media has played a major role in this. Social media is often a highlight reel where people are typically more inclined to post the positives in their lives rather than the not so positive realities we all experience at times, says B. Craft. It seems that there were a lot of people who were more inclined to post toxic positivity statements and aesthetically pleasing graphics rather than facing the painful reality of the C-19 pandemic. There were lots of messages on social media telling people to use this time wisely or learn a new skill. And yeah, I totally see that, man. Is I see like what I call the Facebook effect. I don't know, there might be better term or an actual psychological term for it. But like, for example, back in the day when I made these graphics, right? And I've gotten, over the years, it's taken me a long time. I feel like I've gotten really good at these graphics. And back in the day, I would post these graphics on different forums and stuff. And I would say, hey, $40, I'll make you an album cover or whatever. And this was like back in the MySpace days. And they'd be like, dude, you suck. You're nowhere near like the level of paying you, right? And that just drove me to like continue to get better and better at it. But nowadays, I feel like with what I call the Facebook effect, where everyone's your friend and you're only supposed to say positive things, I feel like that type of talking would be considered bullying today, and that's gone away. So now, if I did the same thing today and I was like, hey, if anyone needs some graphics, hit me up, they would be hitting me up, or they would just say, wow, you're really good. And it's almost, well, it is a lie, right? And you're not pushing these people to be better. So for me to come on here and just say positive things only, I feel like does these people a disservice if they're not that far down the rabbit hole as a lot of the other people. You have to know, like, even myself, like way back in the day, I had to admit to myself, like, yo, you're dumb, dude. Like, you're super dumb. And that's what drove me to continue to study and look into things. So if you don't have someone saying this stuff to you or telling you you're dumb, or there's probably a better way to say it than that, but how are you going to be pushed into the right direction to continue to like level up in all this stuff? Right? I don't know. That's how I feel about it. A little bit more of this article says Instagram's flex culture has come head to head with toxic positivity. Social media influencers have created a business of selling products online, have an incentive to promote positivity. Brands don't want to work with negative or pessimistic ambassadors or have them represent their products. Social media markets thrive on positivity, and thus we see toxically optimistic outlooks frequently adopted. This Beecroft here says, stay more realistic with yourself and avoid comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel by removing the expectation that you're supposed to be happy or you're supposed to see the bright side of things in all situations. Healthy positivity isn't an all or nothing experience. It's possible to feel multiple conflicting emotions at once. So exactly what Benton said. It has to do with these people being unable to process those quote unquote negative emotions, in my opinion. So then I felt like the people that were leaving these comments and the way this quote unquote truth community has the trajectory it's been going in. And I like what Benton says. When Benton says there is no truth community, it is a wholly individual experience, right? Only you can make it through all this mess, and only you can control yourself, and only you can make a change in yourself and your own ways. And once you do that, I think, and you're able to maintain better choices and, slay your demons, so to speak, and everything, then from there you can affect your house, like the people directly in your house, your children, or whoever you live with. And if everyone did that, and then collectively you could work on a neighborhood level and then a community level and everything. But ultimately it's an It's an individual's experience. So, well, I thought of this term, like, I feel like the trajectory of the truth community was going into something I thought, like, Disneyfication or something, right? And I looked it up, and it's actually a term, and I didn't even know it. And I'm going to read it here live. I was going to read it beforehand, and I want to kind of poke around at it live, get the reaction here. The definition of Disneyfication is the transformation as of something real or unsettling into carefully controlled and safe entertainment or an environment with similar qualities. So an example is the Disneyfication of downtown. So I feel like that's what's happening in a lot of areas of society and culture, but you definitely see it in the truth community, I would say. And yeah, here's a whole article right here, the Disneyfication of the world. Hold on here. It says in sociology, the term Disneyfication describes the commercial transformation of things, example, entertainment, or environments, truth community, into something simplified, controlled, and safe, reminiscent of the Walt Disney brand. It broadly describes the process of stripping a real place or thing of its original character. So in the truth community, we're talking about you're supposed to be a truther, you're supposed to be skeptical and analyzing all the new information and data that you're processing, not just instantly rolling over and running with that narrative. That's no different than what the mainstream people do, right? I wish I could remember who it is. Maybe you can leave a comment in the chat now or later if you watch this later. But there was a commenter said the truthers are like basically the never Trumpers. They just take whatever narrative they get thrown to them and they just 100% run with it. And I have to agree, man, from what I've seen the last few years. It says everything gets represented in a sanitized format. References to anything negative or inconvenient are removed. Facts are dumbed down with the intent of rendering the subject more pleasant and easily grasped. That's these people that are the gurus. What did that person call me? On a reality. I might have closed that out or something. Here it is. Investigates the nature of reality. There's more channels about that on YouTube than even there are like scholars in colleges and universities and stuff, I feel like. In cases of physical places, Disneyfication involves replacing the real with an idealized tourist-friendly veneer, resembling Main Street USA attractions at Disney parks. It's mostly used derogatorily to imply the social and cultural homogenization of things. Okay, see? I have a video actually called Cultural Homogenization. So that's actually what I'm talking about, is when you see everywhere you go, you see the Panera Bread, you see McDonald's, all these different locations, they all look the same. They're a glass window box with the font across it. It's no longer the stylized logo. It's just a basic font for all these places that want to look more and more like the Apple store. And I do have a video on that if you search cultural homogenization. So I guess that's the same thing I'm talking about here, is Disneyfication. Because, yeah, it aims to remove anything slightly controversial or what would be considered negative. Look at one more thing on this. The death of diversity. Cultural diversity mirrors the biological and geographical diversity of our planet. Disneyfication, like economic globalization, tends to ride roughshod over local variety. So baseball hats, blue jeans, and running shoes become the uniform of teenagers in both Budapest and Bangalore, while Western TV shows promote the illusion of limitless wealth. This process is not the same as different artistic traditions learning from each other and sharing ideas freely. Cross-fertilization and borrowing from other cultures has invigorated and strengthened both Western and Third World arts. Great art prospers from contact with the outside world, but the corporate culture is different. Its guiding principles are efficiency and profit, and there is a tendency for those goals to steamroller both diversity and authenticity. And that's what you're seeing with the truth community. I think it's getting sanitized into an easily digestible sound bites. This is what people want. They want sound bites they can go and repeat at the water cooler, basically. I mean, maybe you're not talking about this at work, but when you're talking about it to other people, you want to have an easily digestible sound bite, and you don't want it to be controversial at all. You want it to be high vibrations. There's no room for dissent in that. And I think ultimately it comes down to people do not want to choose between good and evil with their deeds, with their actions. There's no God, just vibe higher, and that's it, right? It's that simple. Then if you do good things will come to you, or something like that. That's what it seems like. Anyway, I could go on and on about this, but that's basically where I was at when I was reading these comments all week. It was driving me nuts. Pretty, as always, had good comment, and Pretty said that these people are creating Faustian bargains for this knowledge, and what they're going to do is they're going to make excuses for their favorite YouTubers, and then eventually they'll be making excuses for themselves. And I couldn't agree more. And I think ultimately it comes down to the degradation of morality, people's morals. And you could say that for the whole world. Actually, Legend, you always hear us talking about Legend from the Discord. Actually, let me throw that Discord link in the chat while I'm talking. Legend said on Reddit there was a big thread or whatever about sorry if I get it wrong, but something like, what's the biggest factor that caused the world to go down the toilets into the state that it's in today, or whatever, something like that. And I immediately said TV, and I'll stick with that. But ultimately it is the degradation of the morals of the people. But that is driven by the television, in my opinion. That's what I've been thinking about. And any subversive thing that you can think of that's a blight on society today and causing America to go from a first world country to slowly becoming a third world country, all that stems from programming on television. They did have radio. They did have propaganda on the radio, no doubt about it. But I feel like the propaganda on the radio is maybe like 1/10 as strong as on the television. So to me, the biggest downfall of the human race that I can see, from what I can see, at least since World War II or a little before, whatever, is the introduction and the television into the home, into every home, and making it cheap enough to get it in the home. And now your entire living room is basically an altar based around this television, the living dead room. And you have the TV using like flicker rates and stuff, right, to basically put people in a hypnotic trance. So it's 10 times at least more deadly propaganda tool than radio. And then every other sinister agenda that's caused the downfall of the world actually has come out of there. So like feminism and anything you can think of really is promoted through the television. So that would be my answer to that. I would kind of like to flesh that idea out a little more. But I want to check on some of these chat comments. Bob Sapp says, "Where's Infinite playing radio? Has he not been on lately?" I kind of binge him for a while. I'll binge him for a few weeks, and then I'll kind of go away for a few weeks. I haven't been like looking out for him for the past few weeks. So anytime you hear me or the people I do shows with and stuff, and we're like talking about other channels or ideas or anything, is ultimately I would say it's not personal. It's just the nature of the beast when you're putting out ideas and stuff online, right? It's open for criticism at that point, and I'm gonna continue to like push that envelope and everything. There's RT saying Fringe is pushing fear porn on Rockfin. I haven't checked out Fringe files on Rockfin, but if you guys are looking for her, that's where she's at. So I can't attest to what he's saying there. Fringe says, okay, I'm fear porn. Shout out to Fringe Files. I am going to take a brief break. I'm going to try to set up my phones here. And then I think we can do some calls here. Let me drop the number in here. I want to see if anyone wants to call in. If you want to talk about this topic or anything else, give me a call, but let me just take a 1-2 minute break here real quick, okay? I'll be right back.
Views and streets.
Toilet Bowl Earth says positive vibes only. God bless you, bro. Christ is king. Davey Crocko, were you gonna jump in that Discord real quick? Is that what you were saying? Where did my face go? There I am. Go to chalkbodyoutline.com. You can get your FJB shirt. Oh. Jesus lost his shades, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jesus. Let's see real quick. I think Davey was going to jump in quick, and then I'll go on the phones. Where's Davey? Where you at, Davey? Hello. Davey Crocko, can you hear me? Davey Crocko, can you hear me? Phones.
What up?
What's up, man?
Yeah, Davey. What's up?
Positive vibes only, bro.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, positive vibe. Positive vibes.
Positive vibes only, bro.
All I want. What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. What's up?
Oh, not much, man. Did a video earlier. Haven't been able to catch your last couple of streams, so just wanted to say what's up to you, what's up to the chat, and I like what I'm hearing. How far did you get into Archaics? Did he ever want to call back in?
No, and he never called in. I just showed like what I showed and said what I had to say. That was basically it.
I mean, it definitely got back to him, so it's just hilarious that all his followers are saying what he could just say. Obviously.
I'm sure you get the same thing when you like go talk about whoever, right?
Yeah. You get a gang of them.
What do you think about that, man? What do you think about these people that are just like think
It's a lot of following. It's a lot of, oh, if I do this, the person that I look up to, who is most usually a piece of shit, will like me or maybe like give me a wrench or something. Like, it's really kind of shallow, low level nonsense. A lot of those like minion type people do the dirty work for the content creator. But for the most part, he seems, this guy specifically, almost in like an Owen Benjamin fashion, has them under a spell of some sort where they can't go outside of that one channel to get another view from anywhere else, or it's wrong.
It seems that way to me, yeah. What was the live you did earlier tonight?
I did one on the IRS shit that was happening.
Yeah, you want to talk about that real quick? Fill me in on that, because I saw the headlines, but I didn't really go deep on it.
Yeah, so the IRS hired on about 87,000 new agents. And in the original post for the job description, it talked about being able to use deadly force if needed. So these are armed agents. Then they took that ad down like 3 days later after the backlash. But yeah, they're basically going to come execute you for your money.
I said something like that, actually, if you guys remember. I don't remember when, like early in the year or something, when they said they lowered that threshold down to $600 on like CashApp, PayPal, and even eBay and stuff, right? So you had a lot of people quit eBay over that, but I said they're going to just create a bunch of like tax prisoners over that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there was this really funny thing that happened in Lebanon yesterday. If you're not familiar, since like 2019, Lebanon, like you can't get your own money out of the bank. Like they're just in a financial crisis, you know? So what ended up happening was this guy went into the bank and he wanted to get like $5,500 out of his account. He had like 200 grand in his account. He wanted 5,500. They only siphon people $200 to $300 a week. So he goes in there. They won't give him the money. Luckily, this guy had a, as people would call an assault rifle on him, and just took the whole bank hostage until they would give him the money. And then everybody cheered him as he came out.
And did he get his money then?
They gave him $3,500 and arrested him.
and then arrested him. Dang.
But they gave him something. But that's just hilarious. Like, that's the coming future. You can't walk into the bank and take your money out.
Oh yeah, definitely not. You already, even anything more than 10,000, you got to fill out a bunch of forms.
Oh yeah, they're on your ass if you take out that much money.
Somebody
it was like 50.
Somebody in
There's
the
like
chat real
55
quick said they're here for the first time. They saw IPR, is that Infinite Plane Radio, I'm assuming, post where he touted Archaics. Made me think about your show about Archaics the other way. Did he really tout him? I would think that would be something that IPS wouldn't be too much into, but I guess I don't really know him like that, so.
He's a wizard with the words. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, like Tinfoil said, this
I was
spoken
laughing
word
when you-
savant.
when you replied to that one girl that was kind of like coming at you, and like you used a couple big words on her. I was like, she might just instantly flip to your side.
Yeah,
She's
maybe.
Like, oh, well, now I don't know.
And then I was in Matt's comments today, and there was a bunch of comments like, "Oh, is Matt's not Nilk the same as Archaics Simulacrum?" And like other comments like, "Oh, have you been watching Archaics?" to Matt. And that's what I said. I said this. I see this as being a problem. You're gonna see this everywhere in the comments, all over Truther channels too. I think you are. I bet Matt doesn't like that. And speaking of that, man, like today's show, if you guys watched it, I think it was today, his argument was basically like, it's not secret societies doing, you're not allowed to say it's secret societies doing everything you see on TV unless you say secret societies also do the eclipse. And this is what I'm talking about. There's no one in the comments that's going to say, okay, hold on a second. This is a really bad argument, really dumb argument. Not one pushback I saw.
Once you go down the road of having like a certain belief system where he's created his own basically alternative universe that he gets people to believe in, anything he says can kind of fit into that reality. Matt does it slightly too, but it seems like this Archaics guy really has him wrapped around his finger with this reality they think they live in.
Yeah, Matt, or the Archaics dude is like Matt times 1,000. And the comments as well. Totally.
EBT, Archaics got a chokehold on the truther community.
Yeah, out of nowhere, man. Like
he can have them.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I forgot to say when I made that cover and everything. I was gonna say, someone said my channel's not considered a truther channel anymore. It's called a troll channel, and I said that's great. Like, I don't want anything to do with these truthers. They're insufferable. I don't want to be known as a truther. It's that bad at this point. You can call me whatever you want. I think troll though that's where they go to right away. They say, "Oh, this guy's being a troll," and I think that's completely dishonest to say that when you're just questioning theories and pointing out discrepancies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's a chokehold on the new truth movement, the post actual truth movement, where they're basically taking the scraps. It's like we're days away from some guy breaking down the moon landing and telling me all about it, like Matt does.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
true.
really? The moon landing? Well, tell me about aliens, bro. I saw like a, because now I have to fucking subscribe to Donut, you know? Like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
have to, just so I know what's coming up. And it was like, the real meaning of the number 33.
Did you see? Yeah, that's true. Is like these channels we're talking about recently, Donuts and Archaics and all this. It seems like, well, Waters Above Crypto. There's another piece of shit channel. It seems like they're all like very geared towards like the people just getting into it now, which is fine too, right? But that goes with that. You want to talk about that? What do you call it? That documentary your boy made?
Yeah, I've only gotten through half of it.
Yeah, it's really long. I watched maybe 40 minutes or something.
I think he does a great job of making some of the connections that we were speaking about before on how these multi-channel networks work. And it's not just the, oh, hey, go check out this guy. You can tell how they're all embedded with each other, and how they have to link the other person's channel into their thing. And they're allowed to host InfoWars for an hour. Then they're beholden to InfoWars. It's just a whole cycle that all of these guys go through.
So does you didn't finish it, but is his theory that InfoWars is the money behind all that?
Well, there might be someone above InfoWars that handles the money behind all of that stuff, but it's definitely somebody that collects the money, because what a thing multi-channel networks do is help with promotion. They have ways of algorithm manipulations. They just have certain knowledge about how YouTube works to help you get pushed up faster than other people. Now, some of us know some of those tricks. They know all of the tricks. That's why you see a lot of these channels that you're wondering, how do they have 100,000 subs, but only 1,000 people are watching them? That's why. Because they're being artificially pushed.
Right. Shout out to Stephen David. He said, Matt's videos have been sideways shots at my lives. But I think that too, though. There's definitely these people have some type of manager, whatever you would want to call it. There's no doubt about it. And they're, especially when you see them all interconnected and doing like podcasts, live streams with each other and everything.
Yeah, as Alex calls it, there's a tip of the spear somewhere.
What is Titus Frost's channel? Do you know what it's called?
On YouTube, it's I believe Captain Titus Frost.
Captain.
He's gotten so many taken down. That's why in the Discord I put his Hive blog in there, and that gives you all of his channels. But what I like that he does, he puts every single piece of research he put into it in notes for everybody to look at.
I'll put his channel in here. I haven't like vetted this channel too hard, but I was watching this. This is the documentary we're talking about, and just the name of the documentary is just this question mark. So it's a 3-hour one. If that,
I enjoyed that he did that and didn't try to make it some clickbaity title.
yeah.
Like, you know,
I wish he could have. I wish it wasn't 3 hours. I don't.
Yeah, he spent a while on it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's worth it when I get to the end of it, but it's just gonna take me a while.
For sure. I watched like an hour of it. And I had already seen the intro and showed people the intro, which kind of just lays the groundwork for all the people he's going to go after. But he left some people out of the intro that he puts into the full doc. But yeah, I mean,
Does he talk about Alex Stein?
oh yeah.
Prime
Yeah.
Time 99?
That push just raised too many red flags for everybody.
And now him and Pod Awful are going at it. Did you see that? Or Pod Awful's on his nuts?
Well, yeah, you didn't see the last time he was on, they had to mention me again.
I just saw I watched Pod Awful had one from a few days ago where he went in, the whole show was about Alex Stein. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, so he had Alex Stein on like a week and a half ago.
And now they're beefing though, right?
I don't know how they got beefing, but Titus Frost put up a clip showing that, like, just like a week ago, Stein was at a protest or people protesting against him, and Titus saw in the audience one of the guys was this guy Cassidy Campbell, who's a friend of
okay.
Alex
Pod
Stein.
Awful showed that. Yeah, it's like his boy dressed up in a wig or something.
Yeah, so Pod Awful got that from Titus Frost.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
then-
he showed how that dude Stein went to a what do you call it? Like a protest against him, and they all have the same like box and handwriting that they're writing on. It's like an Amazon box.
Yeah.
Totally
so-
fake.
So Titus put that out on the internet. Pod Awful got that from him, and then Pod Awful starts going into, oh, do you know who this guy Titus Frost is? Yeah, he tried to become a member of my channel, but I had to kick him out. And it's like he never wanted to be on the channel. He just made that up. But he's like, I had to kick him out because he's friends with Davey Crocko. Do you know Davey Crocko? And like Stein just didn't answer him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just super
That's
obsessed
funny.
still. Just really obsessed.
The chat's asking about ROTC. Does he talk about ROTC, Titus Frost, in that documentary?
He briefly talks about him, yeah. It was more just because they hosted the 4th hour, but from when I talked to Titus about it, he was more like, I'm just showing the connections. I don't think they're on the big level as some of the other people he's talking about, like with political agendas and steering people into very, very bad ideas. I mean, they're a comedy show, so
That's true.
he said he doesn't give them as much weight as the other people he was really mentioning. That was my only gripe with the doc. I said I don't think they really fit with the other people that you're putting in, but that might be my bias because I'm cool with those guys.
I don't know enough about them really, to be honest. I've barely seen them, but I like I was saying though, there's definitely that those names we talked about before, Donut and all those other ones. They're definitely out there pushing like simulation theory on these people and stuff. Like those are definitely poison wells, in my opinion. If you're in a simulation, just kill yourself. Then what's the
someone
difference?
came to me that Stein used to be a flat Earth guy. And
Oh,
he would
really?
go on he was on Jeranism, and he was on a couple other.
He
flat
seems
Earth
like
shows.
he's just kind of an attention whore. Cause yeah, Pod Awful showed how he was on a reality show before too.
Yeah, this guy gets all his shit from other people.
Yeah. So he's definitely attention whore.
Oh, I was talking about Pod Awful, but yeah,
Oh,
same thing. Pod Awful gets his info just by scrolling through other people's discords and shit.
I don't know. I just saw just the one Pod Awful. Then
I know
that's
that's
all I
your
saw.
boy. I know
He's
that's
not.
your
I
boy.
don't even know the guy. The only thing I can
Oh,
say about him
oh,
is
I
that
love
we
him.
went to
Look at
troll
this.
his Discord
Look at
one
his-
time.
Look at his set. This is amazing.
No, his set's dope, but we went to troll his Discord one
Fucking-
time, and all they did
I'm
was like
fucking-
ban us. It was whack. I was like, I thought you guys were like trolls. Like, you just banned us. I was expecting like a war, not like a, just like talking shit war or whatever on the Discord, and they just were like insta ban.
Oh no, yeah.
I was like, man, that's whack.
I hate to use it though, like because it's so gay. It might have. I have to figure out who it was that sent me all that stuff on him, because someone was like, just giving you a warning about Alex Stein. I'm like, I'm not doing anything with Alex Stein. He's like, well, you were gonna interview him. I go, yeah, but then I got a little hesitant after the push. Someone sent me a bunch of shit about the Flat Earth Times, but I'll probably never find it in my life.
That Alex was on Flat Earth stuff, you mean?
Yeah, Stein was like big into Flat Earth stuff.
Like Jenny Rose now, huh? He was the he was the original.
I mean, the guy's
Jenny Rose.
signed by Blaze. He's on Fox News.
Yeah, these people have not necessarily handlers like the way conspiracy theorists think of it, but managers and agents or whatever you want to call it. Absolutely.
Someone's gonna be watching and being like, "Dude, it was me that told you." And I thought it was RT for a second, but it wasn't. It'll come up at some point.
Yeah.
If there was a way to search on fucking.
Hey,
Discord.
I'm gonna take some calls. So it looks like some people are trying to call in.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! Got it. All right.
Get the fuck out, Davey. GTFO.
All right. Good talking to you.
No, yeah, it was good to see you.
Love you, brother.
I'll be in touch. All right, peace out. I'm gonna turn the phone on. I saw a couple of people in the chat saying were looking to call in. I just had it on Do Not Disturb, so it wasn't like blowing up while we were talking. But yeah, if you want to call in, 651-321-3677. We can talk about pretty much whatever. I'm still on the toxic positivity tip. I think that's a bad way to look at it, to say you're not supposed to judge anyone. And I do think you are judging people. And you have to formulate an opinion or like a theory, I should say, on what's going on in your world. You need to be able to make judgments. I like how this cover came out. This one's pretty good. Pretty good. 666 on you. We're waiting for a caller. I think Oh, there was something I wanted to show. Oh yeah, the Trump thing. So they raided the Mar-a-Lago. They released the warrant. Hold on.
Call from
Archaics.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
Hello, is this Drew?
This is Drew.
Hello, Drew. This is Archaics, and I just wanted you to let you know. And yet, despite the fact that recent breakthroughs in the field of vacuum physics have all but exploded the myth of the irrelevant cosmos, nothing has come close to questioning the larger Copernican revolution itself, who was rather extended in every dimension, that the life and times of every man, woman, and child are now framed within the context of the Enlightenment, with its metaphysical imperative to reduce all the highest aspirations of romanticism, love, hope, free will, and the ingenuity of the human spirit, to the status of merely subjective secondary effects emerging from the primacy of dead, unconscious matter. Do you hear me now, Drew? Do you hear me now, Drew? Do you hear me? The result is nothing less of a cultural neurosis on a global scale.
That was deep, bro.
For in a world where romanticism is contradicted by enlightenment, wrote Tanis, from the rift opened by the conflict in an integrated worldview, being the natural predilection of the individual psyche is unattainable. Wholeness, and consequently happiness then becomes a metaphysical impossibility for life on Earth. Fact which catalyzes
Archaics. Why were you in prison?
Hold on, I'm not done now. Hold on, I'm not done. Who's resenting the Western initiative to modernize them, sacrifice themselves in the name of staving back their people's enlightenment for the sake of preserving their people's remains.
Dang. He hung up. Too bad. I was looking at this Trump treason thing. it's trending on Twitter. They type hashtag treason, but it's TRE45SON because they did the Mar-a-Lago, and they did the raid. They released all the whatever, the warrant and everything. And they say this house has like 33 bathrooms. They took out like 33 boxes and everything. There's all kinds of like the codes and the numbers and everything like that. And now this thing's trending on Twitter about his Hey, Dark Glasses Woody, did you want to... I saw you said something earlier and I was busy talking and I didn't get a chance to go back to it. Do you want to type it again? It was something about cherry picking or something, but I didn't see it. Let's see if you call, or if anyone else wants to call in or call back. I'm going to check out some of these. Here you go. They think they get all the liberals. They think this is going to be the one that sinks Trump. They don't understand. It's like Teflon Don. Not that I believe in him or anything. It's just that's the character. Nothing sticks to this guy, right? And like this is gonna be the one thing that's gonna take him down or whatever. Yeah, Tiffany, show up. What's up? Show up. Swing through. Tiffany's the one that embarrassed herself and posted some false information and made herself look stupid before. Treason. MAGA needs to show up. So they say Trump's going to dip out to some non-extradition country. That's not going to happen. It's just going to play out in the court system, just like Alex Jones and Johnny Depp. It's going to be the next thing, the next metaverse movie for you to sit home and interact with. Yeah, here's all the stuff that they found on Trump. I hate on Twitter how I can't zoom in. This is all the stuff that they... There was more than this even. This is one page of it. Okay, Dark Glasses Woody said, do you think Archaics is cherry picking from historic disasters to make a disaster cycle model? Or do you think he's acting at the behest of the people who wrote the textbooks? I mean, I can't even formulate opinion with it because I haven't went through and peer reviewed all of his data or whatever. So I really can't even comment on it, to be honest. But I think it would be easy to kind of cherry pick some stuff. Ultimately, he says 2040 is going to be the next Phoenix event reset or whatever. So then that would lead to 1902 being the last one of the previous one. And then when you watch the video he has on all the information he shows that he considers a reset or whatever, I thought it was pretty flimsy, to be honest. So if the ultimate test of his theory is the date 2040, then, I would think you would have stronger evidence for 1902 from what I was looking at. There was some events, there was some I thought relatively minor events, but then he just started spamming all this other information on there, like the birth of Ray Kroc or whatever his name is, the founder of McDonald's. He was born in 1902, and then all these just very, very, very weak stretches to go on top of his more main points he made. So they say he has top secret documents and blah, blah, blah. I don't think anything's going to happen of it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, if you do go on Twitter, if you guys use Twitter, Gary Baxter says Jason over at Archaics, I think he might fudge dates, to be honest. I don't know about that, but he does say Nostradamus had a date prediction for 1901, and he has a whole video why that's wrong and why Nostradamus really meant 1902. I would even give you that one if that was your theory and Nostradamus was within 1 year, or even to me even within 5-year period. I'd be willing to give somebody that little window or whatever, but he has a whole explanation why Nostradamus was late or whatever. But I did have a new Twitter if you guys wanted to go follow it. I haven't really started doing it yet. There's only a couple things on there. But I did the what I've been talking about before. Truthers of TikTok. So let me get you the link if you guys are Twitter users. Which I'm not much of one, but I want to kind of build this one up like libs of TikTok. So it's at TikTok Truthers. And what I did it totally wrong. The first few I put on there, I just copied and pasted the TikTok links in there. So when you click these, it's actually going to take you over to TikTok. I guess what I need to do is download them and then upload them onto Twitter. But that's what I'll do on the next ones. But if you guys see any of this just absurd gang stalker type stuff or any absurd truther, baby type truther things or whatever, it's more like comedy, definitely tweet them to me or send me a message on Twitter or something like that, because I'm going to be looking for new content to put on there just to kind of make fun of parody.
Now, this person meant well by this comment, and I appreciate them. This is just a really good teaching moment. Words are spells, hence spelling. And when we say things like God bless, we are really saying God be less. And another example is this. They said, thank you for this. We need to wake the hell up. Wake the hell up. Hell was sleeping. Wake the hell up. Sounds like you're wishing hell on somebody, huh? Like hello or welcome, hell come. And that's typically why I don't say good morning, because you wake up from morning. That's death. And I could break it down further, and a lot of people have heard it from week to weekend. There's many more. Be careful what you say. Be conscious of what you say.
If you find stuff like that, send me the link, and I'll put it on the Twitter. Wowie. Is anyone else going to call in? I'm going to see what else. I did see this link. I'm not 100% sure how like legitimate this was, but it was like Japan's government resigned in its entirety. And I think the story was something like they were going to like turn over the government in whatever few months or something, and they all just kind of quit early. So of course, like conspiracy people went nuts with it. So I don't know exactly. This is the sundaily.my, so I'm not sure how legitimate this is. The entire Japanese government resigned. Looks like a fake Sun article, so I don't know. You think this would be like a bigger story. I'm not 100% sure how true that one is. They also had this one that was going around the rounds today on all the truther forums. It was 32-year-old UFO picture. They say it's like the most spectacular UFO photo ever. But I thought it was interesting. The guy took the picture on 8/4/1990. That's Jurassic State, if you guys follow Jurassic. Every single one of these UFO pictures, it's like Bigfoot picture where it's like super blurry or whatever. And then ever since the advent or the widespread use of the cell phone, and everyone's got a phone in their pocket, you think there'd be more and more and more UFO pictures, right? Ever since then, but I don't really see that. You don't see pictures and videos coming out that much. I don't see them. Yeah, so this dude said he kept that hidden in a secret. He kept a secret copy of it in his desk for 32 years. He's been living in Scotland. He's 83 years old. So he's got the 32 and the 8/4. Could still be the Project Bluebeam everyone's been talking about for 25 years. Could still be coming to fruition. Do see these, like I like to talk about. I was kind of looking into the textbook's definitions of different mental disorders. Oh, hold on.
Call from.
Steven.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Hello, it's Drew.
Drew, it's Steven.
What's up, Steven?
Yo. Hey.
Steven David, everyone.
Figured, you got some time to bullshit. So, I figured I'd shamelessly plug a friend of mine's band, Norma Jean, because with the fucking Floyd protest, there was all that shit going on that you live streamed, right?
Yeah.
That album that they did, I don't know how much you remember from the history of all that shit going on, but like they were like super canceled for the singer just calling out BLM and saying like the whole entire thing was like psyop bullshit.
So they got What's the name? What's the name of the band again?
Norma Jean.
Norma Jean.
Yeah. So, which is funny because, like, obviously there's a whole bunch of conspiracy side projects to dive into for the name for that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's just funny because they came back recently and had a album that came out. Honestly, you probably dig it, and I'm not even joking, dude. Whenever you want to get the music shit going, like, we'll make some shit happen. I'll make some visual stuff. Like, we can do some more projects. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm always like constantly recording stuff, and then I kind of just trash it. I'm never like happy with how it turns out, but I feel like I'm getting better. I'm getting closer to where it would be something that I would release.
Well, that's the fucking thing. Like, all you got to do is just fucking, you already know, put out trash constantly, and eventually the things that hit will be things that people identify with.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. I need to just like put it out and just keep going with it, I guess.
Honestly, I think you should keep going for it.
Yeah, I will. I'm almost there, man. I'm just like a perfectionist in all the stuff I do, so it's like I really wish I had someone that could help me mix it down, because I feel like I have a lot of them that are like the recordings are good, and then when I mix it down, it doesn't sound good enough for me. But if someone knew more than me, I think they could make it work.
Like, there's basic ass like little tricks to try out. Like I know when I used to fuck around and do like little EPs and shit. The best way to like actually make sure like at least that levels are good is just listening to it in your car. Like, honestly, the shit that you've like sampled for people like sounds good. Just the only thing is just getting the levels right. Like and the rest of it is just consistent like practicing. Like my buddy Made by Philp has been constantly just doing shit for like fucking dumbass Fortnite games. he's still doing it, like for live streams on e-games. He'll fucking create basically 3-minute beats and shit that'll act as like buffers and shit, you know?
Yeah.
And like you already know you have the talent. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, obviously, but like even just looking at like dumbass Sam Hyde clips, it's literally not about like talent. It's like the fucking grind that you've had doing like Instagram, doing fucking legit reporting on stuff, you know? I think it's dope that you've been grinding through all this stuff, and I wanted to tell you I appreciate your shit just verbally. So I'm going to let it go there. You can respond, whatever. I'm going to hang up now. Have a good night, man.
All right, my man. Appreciate you. I don't know what this... Someone threw this link in the chat, man. What is this, dude? We'll have to get to the bottom of that later. How long have I been going, man? Let's see. Just over an hour. That's kind of my sweet spot, about hour and 20 or so. So I'll probably shut it down, I guess. Elliot Hulse. I like Elliot Hulse. All right, man. I guess I'll shut her down. I'll be back next Friday with a live stream. As far as what Stephen David was saying, yeah, I'm I probably make like one song a week, and then I never like do anything with it. A lot of them I don't even save, but maybe I'll just like start like a backup channel or something, start putting them all on there or something, just for like the music or something like that. And like you said, it's just about getting better. Like even if you go back on my Instagram and go way back, and you'll see me getting like better and better at all the graphics and everything. It'll be the same thing with the music. Like you said, you just gotta take the L's at first and just be able to put out some bad stuff to get to the good stuff. Even if one of them hits, you know, bring a lot of new new eyes and stuff to this because you're gonna get a lot more viewers with like a 3-minute song, 2-3-minute song than with an hour and 20-minute live stream or whatever. EBT through the Discord link in there if you guys want to join the Discord. We got big plans. We want to start doing the debates with but you got to cam up, man. If you guys want to do like multi-panel debates and stuff, if you're willing to get on camera, that doesn't have to be the only reason you want to join. But if you want, yeah, that's in that link's in there. And then you can join and just share links or whatever, and you don't necessarily have to do the debates. But if you do want to be part of that, that's where that's going to take place soon. We're going to get on that soon. And I think that's it, man. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to get into. I don't think so. I think that's it. And then, as always, you can go to chalkbodyoutline.com. All my links are there. Odyssey. You want the merch? Click the merch tab. This is the one I'm wearing tonight. The FJB. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I appreciate your time. And peace out. Oh, Captain Healthy says, can I mirror your video? Yeah, for sure, bro. I give Captain Healthy express written permission, but just him. Anyone else, you got to ask me, because I strike any copyright thing I see in my copyright claims 100% of the time. I'll strike them down unless you ask me first or whatever. But yeah, no problem. Appreciate your time. Peace out.